Hey, what's going on, guys? Mike, Fieldcraft Survival. It's casual Friday. That's why I'm in flip-flops. Call them tire sandals, back from the motherland. Was that racist? Can we put that in there? I actually want a tire sandal company called Tire Sandals. If you're interested in that, just leave me the comments in the feedback below. If you'll buy a pair of tire sandals, I might do like Toyo sponsored tire sandals and probably get sued for it. I'm in Ricky's rig, which is a company rig now. Since we put stuff on it for her, it's now become a company rig. Ricky works in our marketing department with Rob, who runs all the marketing for Fieldcraft Survival. And we hooked her up because we have a whole bunch of trips planned for this thing we are doing called Operate the Outdoors. You know, a lot of people do overland content in the mix, but not a lot of people inspire people and then show them the process and education and everything that we're doing. I don't know, I'm sitting like this, it feels uncomfortable. I wanted to show you this vehicle because we partnered with C4 on the fabrication of the Overland Series bumpers that are on this rig. And C4, like a very few number of companies that we've experienced, are some of the best in the space in the industry that do this. So one of the things that we do always is, like, we talk to the companies, we look at what they have, but it always derives from our own experience with their stuff prior to engaging with you. We want to demonstrate to you guys the proper way to set up a rig, especially if you're thinking about operating the outdoors on your own. Not only just the overall setup, but also some of the things that we look at Fieldcraft Survival and making sure you're prepped to kind of like live that best life outdoors. Safety, security and recovery and maintenance, security period for self-protection, but most certainly survival and first aid. So let's take a little walk around. This is one of the highlights and features that I love this vehicle. The Overland Series bumper, my ARB bumpers on my rigs, because ARB is a very popular international company for this type of thing, they are pains in the butt to navigate, like even opening and closing the gate on one of their swing arms. The cool thing about this swing arm is it's one pull, one handle, and it's one pull, one insert, and one lockdown to get it to close. The ARB setup on my personal Land Cruiser is one of my favorites, but if I try to do that way with one hand, not possible. So everything that I'm holding often, trying to load stuff in and out, I have to do it with putting down whatever it is, pushing the safety mechanism and doing this. Here, I could be holding my son, I could be holding whatever, and I can get it to swing open. Also, we opted for the table down because we do a lot of overland cooking. We do living. We're living outside of our rigs and on our rigs when we do these adventures. We got one planned in September, which is gonna be an epic experience. One of the things that I haven't been shy about is the fact that I'm broken. Like, I might look like a 20-year-old Thai boy, but the reality is I'm a broken veteran who has a lot of issues, and I ain't sleeping in that thing. Ricky, her young ass is sleeping in that, but I am not sleeping in that. I'll be sleeping in comfort in a Scout setup on top of a Bowen Customs flatbed on my truck. Look, we don't have a relationship with Rotopacks, but what I've found is they're the best system and setup for water, for fuel, for diesel. One of the reasons why is because they're using the plastic. Like the aluminum jerry can I use in special operations, and the one that I have mounted on the back of my FJ Land Cruiser literally is coming apart. I just saw it this morning, it's got rust because it contracts. In elevation, I'm at 5,000 feet. I could drive down to 3,000 feet, up and down in the mountains where I like to overland. The compression creates creases, and I've literally cracked those jerry cans. This doesn't happen with these cans, and they're super convenient and easy to handle. Even for Ricky, it's super small, super compact, and just enough for a contingency. Really like that setup. Not a fan of rooftop tents, so I won't comment. Rock sliders, no brainer. Here's the problem with rock sliders. Most people don't use them for sliding off of rocks. They use them for stepping into their vehicles. I hate cheap rock sliders. One, they will rip your shin to shreds, but two, they are very unsafe. If you have a fake rock slider, please upgrade to a C4 type rock slider. The reason I say that is because if you decide to go overlanding or bouldering or off-roading and you don't have a proper setup and you get caught up on one of those steps, it will rip the side of your truck off. I've seen that in real time. Might have happened to myself accidentally once or twice. Moving forward, because this is a stock Tacoma, nothing too sexy about this, but they're super capable vehicles. It's one of the reasons why this is like the Corolla internationally here in America. The Tacoma setup is one of the best-selling trucks in the United States. This setup has KC highlights lights. It's got a fog light. It's got the rail light or the front light. What is this called, Rob? What would you call this? This is called the light bar. All right, so you notice in this setup we have two light setups. We have this new light, which I can't talk about too much. CAE compliant. Or we have the light bar attached here with the Warn winch. Guys, if you do not have a Warn winch for self-recovery, you're wrong. We just showed in a post a tragic accident that happened when somebody used, I think it was a Factor 55 recovery kit, and attached it to a ball hitch. Please don't do that. The lesson learned in that tragic event that we can learn from this experience is take recovery seriously. It's why mobility next year, we're gonna teach mobility. I will personally be running a couple mobility courses, not because it's big business, but because I love it. And me and Mike Hernandez wanna teach you the right way to do mobility, the safe way. The start point for this is 10,000 pound minimum, synthetic line, Warn winch. I think this might be the 10S or the Evo 10S. Is it the the Evo 12? Okay, so this is the Evo 12. This is the Warn is one of my favorite companies because they're so reliable, so repeatable. I have one of the first Warn winches ever built on my FJ40, which is super cool to see. Great company that does great things. Please get the Factor 55 options when you build and spec these out, and then also train with us and learn how to recover. Last thing, let's go over here. One of the things I'm gonna highlight, because it's my channel, I can do what I want, is the visor panel. The reason, guys, we designed the visor panel and the mobility bags and the mobility panel is because I want you to have ready access to gear. A lot of people don't think about the concept of, oh, if I'm rolled upside down in this thing in the worst case scenario, because it's never best case, it's worst case, how am I gonna ready access this equipment? If you don't have the ability to reach out and grab this equipment, please think about the reconfiguration or just go to fieldcraftsurvival.com and look at the equipment. So this means I can grab this, pull this away, and then treat, right? This is first aid. This is survival. If I wanted to, I could pull the whole thing off and attach it into my 20 liter, my 40 liter, or my 80 liter. This is what we do for a living. And the reason we were so passionate about it is because we've seen what happens when you don't have this equipment, and we've seen what happens when you do have this equipment. Me and Mike Hernandez on a trip into Montana, we did a overlanding off-road thing with motorcycles. We came across people, about 6 cars that were involved in an accident where a semi-truck crossed the center divide and smashed into cars head on. Mike Hernandez, who runs a dash cam full-time, actually captured that moment as the truck came across the median. I was about 10 minutes behind them. We went to all the casualties, assessed them with med in hand, ready to treat as responsible citizens. Look, guys, this is not only for you, not only for your family, but I think the broader communication, something we're gonna double down with AmericanContingency.com and all the things that we're doing in the future is it's a community responsibility. If you have the technical wherewithal, if you have the equipment on hand, you should be helping your fellow citizen in your own community or wherever you frequent, because that's what Americans do for each other. All right, let's take a look in the back because I want to show you the last part of this build, which I am a fan of in every build that we do. We're gonna do it in the Scout build that I'm doing for my F350. We're gonna do it in the right-hand drive Land Cruiser truck. We're gonna do it in Rob's rig. We're gonna do it in all these rigs that we do because we use these as the example to educate you guys. Goose Gear has one of the best, and that's actually not too expensive. It's about the cost of a SIG 365 XL, but we have the ability to delete the seats. Ricky, who is very lonely, just kidding, she has a boyfriend. Don't slide in those DMs, she's got a boyfriend, but she has dogs, she doesn't have kids. This right here would not be designed for kids. This is designed for the dog, for the overland experience where you want to use this to potentially even camp out in, but it has all the utility of all the drawer systems and then being able to put all the equipment on top. I think we're gonna add a Dometic fridge for her. We're gonna do a little dog section for her dog and get it set up, but super cool. Anything that Goose Gear makes, it stands for quality. I think it's it's like the elite cabinetry for any build that you're looking into building. Like I'm doing the Scout camper. It comes with its own build. Scout makes excellent stuff, but I want utility-based stuff based on Goose Gear's experience. And so I'm talking to Brian like, hey man, let's look at this build and see how we could do it. They sell stuff off the shelf, and they certainly do custom things as well. Just hit them up at goosegear.com. All right, guys, so the closeout on this in this quick segment is everybody has different builds. Ricky's considerations are different than my considerations. I have like a family preparedness build that I'm gonna entertain you guys with here in the near future because I train SWAT teams using that rig. But I'm also gonna go out and do family camping because I have many different needs, including being comfortable. If you're more young and more mobile and you want to do stuff on the weekends, this might be the weekend build for you. And Rob's build is going to be completely different because he's using a Vorshire pull-behind camper because he's got a lot of kids. He's got like 100 kids. So when we build these things out, the overall goal and objective is kind of to inspire you to operate the outdoors, but it's also to educate you along the way. It's what we do. It's what we've done since the very beginning. We cannot do that without your feedback. Leave your feedback in the comments below, subscribe, notification tab, and for the love of God, follow my Patreon, shameless plug, patreon.com/Mike Glover. Till next time, peace out, guys.